How's it going, everyone? My name's Flurry, and today I'm bringing you my first scripted video for Splatoon 2. This video will begin a series of videos that will make up a competitive dictionary, so to speak, as I will be covering many aspects about this game, both simple and complex. Today we'll be looking at a somewhat more complex technique, a technique which I am calling special staggering. In this video, we'll be going over a few things. First, what special staggering is. Second, why this is advantageous in competitive play. Third, some examples of special staggering in tournament play. And fourth and final, how to practice special staggering and apply it to your own games. Now with all of that squared away, let's get right into the video. Special staggering is what it sounds like. It's staggering the use of specials to extend the time your team possesses an innate advantage over the other team. An example of this would be chaining ink armors. Rather than both players using ink armor at the same time, which would effectively render one armor useless, one player holds their special for a few seconds, then using it as the first armor expires. What this has done is give the entire team ink armor for a maximum of 12 seconds compared to the usual 6. It also lets teammates take an extra 2 hits and survive rather than just 1. Another example of this includes area control specials. Take Bomb Rush and Inkstorm for example. Rather than using both specials on top of each other, you can wait to use the Bomb Rush to clean up enemies who may have taken too much damage from the Inkstorm while still controlling the targeted area of the map. Special staggering is advantageous in competitive play for many reasons, but there's one key element that I want to touch on in this video. That element is uptime of innate advantage. Using a special weapon in Splatoon 2 gives the user, and in some cases the whole team, an innate advantage. Take Stingray for example. Using Stingray gives the user a few extra perks, 2 of which are the ability to see weakened enemies through walls and the ability to shoot through walls all the way across the entirety of the map. This also creates a difficult environment for the enemy team, as they have to play around a gigantic laser as well as everything else going on in the game. What many teams will do is stack their specials, giving them a massive advantage compared to the opposition. While there are cases where this is useful and a better play than staggering, I've found through experience that those situations occur very rarely. What will typically happen when 3 or 4 specials are stacked is that the team using all of the specials generates an enormous advantage for 8 to 10 seconds. However, after all their specials expire, the enemy team will counterattack and will transform any momentum from the first team's push into a screeching halt. The defending team may still need to use a defensive special of their own while enduring the onslaught of attack, but they will still be able to wait and retaliate when the attacking team has nothing left to sustain a push. Special staggering, on the other hand, fulfills the criteria just mentioned that special stacking does not: sustain. By splitting up when each special is used by a few seconds, you're able to keep the game in a state where you possess an innate advantage for a longer amount of time. For example, let's look at a push or defense involving the use of ink armor and Stingray. The team with these specials may initiate a fight by having the team move in with ink armor, allowing them to take space using their bodies while not fearing getting blown up. This might last around 5 seconds or so, dependent on when the armor gets broken, and this team may have even weakened some of their opponents during this time. At this moment, the player with Stingray decides to use it. The use of the Stingray can help pick off weakened foes, as well as help their teammates continue to take space due to another source of damage. The team using the Ray will have this advantage for at least 7.17 seconds, based on how much special power-up is worn. In this example, we will assume that no special power-up is worn, so the Stingray will last for the base 7.17 seconds. Now let's do the math. If we take the time that the team had ink armor, which we assumed was around 5 seconds, and we add the time the Stingray was used to that, which is 7.1 seconds, we get around a cumulative 12.17 seconds in which that team possesses an innate advantage over their opponents. And this is only with 2 specials. Let's say a Suction Bomb Rush was used towards the tail end of the Stingray's duration, which we'll call this time margin around 6 seconds. Suction Bomb Rush lasts for 6 seconds of its own. So if we subtract 1.17 seconds from the cumulative total, since the Bomb Rush was used after the Stingray had been active for 6 seconds, and add another 6 seconds for the duration of the Bomb Rush, then we get a total of 17 seconds where that team now has a distinct advantage over the enemy. 17 seconds. In Splatoon, 17 seconds is a very, very large amount of time. Now that you have an idea of what special staggering should look like, let's look at some examples of this in an actual game setting. So to preface this fight a little bit, we are currently down, as you can see on the timer. It's 71 to 65 at this point in the game, and we're kind of grouped up here, and we're looking to push into the enemy car to help kind of like get a luck out for our push going. So that's where that's what we're trying to do with this push right here. And you can see I'm already almost like I'm already have it. So I say I'm gonna bomb rush, and then as you can see, there's specials start coming online now. So first, the L3 gets Inkjet. The L3 gets Inkjet. Their 96 gets Ink Armor. They use both, I believe. They've used the armor, now they pop the Inkjet, yeah. And then they get 2 more to continue to sustain their push with. So even though they lose their L3 mid-fight, what's it called? They're able to armor everyone else still alive, and they use Bomb Rush to help sustain the push and keep moving forwards. They win a dry fight as well, which helps them get their specials back, because otherwise they would have had to fight without their specials. Which is what we're also trying to do too. But you can already see that they've gotten and popped Inkjet already. They're going to pop an armor any second now. Yeah, there's the armor. And they still have one online. And even though they're splashed with the Bomb Rush dies, they're still going to be able to use this second armor that they have to be able to sustain their push and keep us backed out. And they end up getting this ticker all the way down to 6. We do end up taking control and holding for a little while, but we do end up losing this game, and it's largely due to that push. So for this second example now, to preface this fight, my team has we've used an Ink Armor, we've retaken zone, and we're in the lead at this point in the game. Obviously, you can see we're at 23 now, and the enemy team, which in this case is comprised of Cotton on the Rapid Blaster, Kugo on the Soda Slosher, Kim on the Fire Fin Splatter Scope, and Shachi is on NZAP. We've just retaken zone, we're in control now, and we've used one Ink Armor and we have mine online. And coming out of spawn, we got a 3-man wipe, the Charger jumped out. Coming out of spawn, blue team is building their specials, and they're going to be doing something similar to what the pickup did in the Squid Junction example, and they're going to be able to just push right back in. So as you can see, they're just kind of throwing bombs, trying to get their specials. They got their Burst Bomb Launcher. They got the armor for a split second, and they pop the Burst Bomb Launcher with it. They're still throwing Suction Bombs. Now they pop Suction Bomb Rush, and the only special, I want you to notice that the only special that we really had to counter all of this is my 1 Ink Armor, which just ran out. And now you can see there's a ton of Suction Bombs on the zone, and we were getting our penalty down pretty close to making actual progress on the objective, but they were able to stop us just before we got past that point, and they were able to give us a big penalty as well. The first thing I want to clarify here is that you will have a much easier time practicing this technique in a team setting, as ranked is typically an uncoordinated mess of whoever shoots the enemy better wins the game. Practicing special staggering will be easier with an established team, although it's still possible in pickup scrims. If you're going to practice this within an established team, the first thing you should do is talk with your team about how the specials in your team composition function and how you want to use each of them. If you can lay out the goal of using each special, it'll be easier for each of you to identify when in a fight your special should be used. An example would be the Armor and Ray combination I mentioned earlier. You may opt to use Armor to initiate and Ray to clean up, or use them the other way around. The order they're used doesn't really matter as much. What's important is that you're extending your team's advantage uptime. If you're going to practice special staggering with a pickup, you can talk about how the team wants to play before the game starts, and then still ask questions mid-game. You can also just flat out tell your teammates what to do if you need to. Let's use the Armor and Ray example again, since I believe it's the easiest to understand. You can make a call saying Armor first, Ray second, if you need to get that message across. Established teams can do this too, but it'll be more common in pickups. If you're going to try to practice this technique in solo queue, then I suggest picking a weapon with a special that can be used towards the end of fights. This way you can react to what your teammates are doing and have the potential to turn things around even if your teammates start feeding their brains out. It's still best to practice special staggering in a team setting though. And that's everything about special staggering. What it is, why it's advantageous, some examples, and how to practice it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like the video, letting me know I did a good job or if this video helped you at all. Leave a comment as well while you're at it, and let me know what concepts or aspects of Splatoon 2 that you'd like to see me cover in this style of video in the future. I want to keep making content like this before the release of Splatoon 3 so that the skill level of the general player base increases until that game comes out. I'll probably refrain from making videos about each individual special since Splatoon 3 is going to arrive faster than we realize, on top of the fact that Chara did an excellent series on special design in Splatoon 2, which I highly recommend if you go check out if you haven't already. Remember to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to turn on notifications if you're interested in seeing more competitive Splatoon 2 content such as tournament, scrims, and discussion videos like this one. Well, that's it from me. I hope to see you all in my next video. Stay safe and have a good one.